So now a little bit about UI, and what is UI design? So UI stands for user interface, which is basically the design of user interfaces for machine and software such as It's a whole bunch of things. I mean, really, UI design is websites, app design. Now we're getting into watches and car and so many different interactive models because of this digital technology that's been continuing to progress at a really fast level. And it's a really exciting time for UI design because it's becoming so many different things. And it's a really fun area to be in. So really quickly, let's see. Just a second. No. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is an example of a really beautiful website.
Really beautiful? Are you sure about that?
Probably not. There isn't a whole lot here. That's a nice effect. I like that. But it looks like it's out of the 90s. And things have come really, really far since the 90s. And you go to a lot of web pages that still look like they're from the 90s. And it's terrible. It's awful. It breaks my heart every time I see something like this. But you'd be amazed with how many clients you work with that have websites like this. So this is a template for what a lot of websites look like today. And I don't know if you can read it, but it says we're unique, find out how unique we are. And then it has always 3 columns and this little section about where you find out how unique you are. And this is what every single website looks like today. You kind of fit into this template of a big website banner, and they talk about 3 different things about who you are. And so many of these things they start looking the same, and nobody is really catching your attention. So you want to start pulling in these different pieces from graphic design that pull in your interest and find different ways of manipulating different sections on the website that pull your attention in and make you want to click things and make you want to find out more. So this is an example of a grid. So with websites, you can commonly follow this 12-section grid that has different, you can't really point to it, but it has 12 different rows of evenly spaced columns. And fitting content within those spaces, so you have equal spacing, so that you have 2/3, 1/3, or 1/4, 3/4. So you have this layout that just fits the content right. And really with websites, we have limitations within the way that websites are created. And whether you have, most things need to fit within a confined box. So if you have something that's diagonal, or you have something that's circular, when you click on it, it's still going to be registering that it's a square. So fitting into this kind of square mentality when you're designing websites is extremely important. Now, we're going to take a look at some animation. So real quickly here, I don't know if you can kind of see this, but decades ago, Walt Disney came up with these 12 fundamentals for how objects should animate. And if you take those same principles over to web design today, you can create some really, really fun interactions. And when you're looking at UI design in particular, it's taking things the next step beyond graphics. So it's taking things and figuring out how it's going to interact, how you're going to be using it, and figuring out what those next steps really look like. So figuring out ways to add some playfulness. These are examples of just how things could animate for an app, for instance. So this is showing just the playfulness that you can add to a design and make it stand out so much more. And this is just really a few different colors, a few different shapes, but you start seeing this playfulness within the design that makes you want to touch it, that makes you want to interact with it. And it creates a sense of awareness where things are at, because you, for instance, here as you're scrolling through these different cards, you see where the other ones are going. When you click on that button, you see that it's expanding across the screen, so you know that information is filling the screen. So it creates this awareness that really helps drive drive the user, and then that starts tying into UX design that we'll talk about later. This is another example here of just how things can animate as you're clicking on different aspects of the page. And this is Google's new rebrand, that they have just this fun playfulness to their logo that they put in different contexts, and it suddenly becomes all of these different things, which just really, we're in an era that UI design can be so many different tools, and it can have so many different contexts, and so being able to convey that in a meaningful way with interaction and animation makes it extremely successful. So we live in a progressively mobile world. More and more things need to be designed for mobile first. I mean, 70% of the interactions that we're doing today are on our phones or our tablets, and coming up with different ways to show that information first and foremost is extremely important. And when we design things, we want them to be light, to be able to stream over cellular connections so that they're easy to download, so that they're easy to access. You're not waiting there for seconds and seconds and seconds. It comes instantly. And so creating something that isn't heavy on images or these old school methods of Flash and all these different things really limit websites or apps. And if it's slow, people aren't going to use it. So figuring out, again, the user experience side of things is extremely important, but that's especially important when it comes to mobile. The websites we design now contract and expand into different elements so that you can see something in a desktop, and you can see it in a tablet view, you can see it in a phone view, depending on the size of screen that you're using. And so thinking about the methodologies and how things are going to come together at the end is extremely important. Now this is old school, iOS 6. I don't know, how many of you guys remember what iOS 6 looked like? It wasn't too long ago that Apple decided that we need to change things. Their design's looking increasingly skeuomorphic, which is bringing in real-world things into design. So their compass, when you open it up, looked like a wood compass. Their newsstand looked like a wooden bookshelf, and their game center looked like a felt card table. And Apple just scrapped that idea, and they went with this flat kind of design with gradients, and people went berserk, like, what the heck is this? I don't know what this is. I don't like this anymore. But it's moving the bar forward and figuring out where those trends are going. And after time, or over time, we're seeing so many of these things like gradients and flat icons and different elements from things that were happening 3 years ago continue to like just flood into the design space. So what's happening in the UI field is going across all aspects, so that the same in graphic design, when you're designing something, it's less and less of this skeuomorphic design and more of this kind of modern flat design. These are some examples of desktop websites, so I'm just going to show you a few here. Show you some different ways that things can be playful in a different way rather than fitting within that, hey, we're super unique, but we're not. And your website can look nice, it can look better than an Electrifying Times website, but you really want to guide people through the story of who you are and what you're doing. So this is just kind of a fun website that has this movement in the back, this water, and as you scroll through, it has this really bold typeface, and these elements that kind of float and fly in with parallax. As you continue to scroll, it shows different elements as you go through. And it's really just kind of a fun way to get this information. It's almost like a really interactive textbook, but in a good way. And you want to keep going, you want to figure out what's next, and it makes it really fun and engaging as you go through the website. And again, just looking at different ways that people are doing things, going on Behance and Pinterest is a great way to see what people are doing, because honestly, we live in a global world where there's great design out there, and you want to figure out how you can top that design.